Welcome, my friends, to the Black Diamond for Monday, November 7th, 2016. John Lavinia, happy to be back here with you after we had a couple of weird weeks, right? We had an event in Las Vegas. We had Halloween was last Monday, and the kiddies took precedence over the call. We had to go out begging for candy, which we did successfully, by the way. It was a great trick-or-treating night for all of our American friends, and I hear that there are some people abroad who are also celebrating Halloween now. So there you go, a little bit of Americana. But we have recovered from our overindulgence in candy, and we are back on task this week. So I'm excited to be here with you live from Salt Lake City today, and thinking about all that's coming up here in the digital altitude community, including our upcoming event. So for people who are brand new and who do not yet know, our next event, which is hitting the calendar momentarily, is going to be in towards the mid to late winter. We're looking at end of February in beautiful Hawaii. I mean, where could be possibly a better place to go in February than Hawaii? I mean, that is just the ultimate destination. In fact, I happen to know that our founder, Michael Force, is out there, or will be out there in probably just a few hours, getting on a plane, doing what he has to do to go check out the sites in terms of venues and what opportunities are best for digital altitude people to come and experience the first ever Ascend conference. So that is coming up in this winter. So if you're not sure what that is yet because you just signed up, you're brand new, get with your coaches and they will walk you through the steps in the Aspire program so you can see all that's in store for us at the upcoming Ascend event, which again will be in Hawaii. And speaking of Hawaii, I do have our co-hosts here with us tonight who are in Hawaii right now, enjoying some time out there in that island paradise. But before we get to them, let me tell you what this call is about. This is the Black Diamond. So especially for our brand new people, this call is something that I've hosted in various forms for about 15 years now. Okay, and this is a call where I bring out top earners, people from inside our industry who have made it to the top. They've made it to the highest levels of certainly compensation, right, in terms of making money. They're winners. They're playing at the top of their game, hence the title Black Diamond, right? If you're a skier, you know a Black Diamond is expert level ski run, right? That's at the top. That's where the pros go, okay? So that's what this call is about. You're going to hear my opinion on stuff, me, John Lavinia, how I work my businesses. You'll get some insights and some ideas on our operating strategies, myself and our co-hosts, which we have a different one each week. And so the rules for this call, because it's very street, it's very off the cuff, right? There's nothing pre-planned or pre-scripted. The rules are take these ideas, see how they apply into your business and into your life, right? Some of these will apply, some may not. Take what you like and leave the rest, just like a nice buffet, like a nice Hawaiian buffet. And of course, if anybody says anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just how we roll. It's more about giving you the raw ideas, right, as they come out of our mind, but without too much focus on how should we say this or that. Because again, none of this is scripted. So take what you like and leave the rest, and be here each week for different insights and personalities. So let me bring out this wonderful couple that we have here tonight, which we've been anticipating for a couple weeks now, ever since they won the affiliate contest. That's right. They won. They took the #1 spot in the affiliate contest here with Digital Altitude with $150,000 worth of prizes on the table, and they got to speak about their experience in our live event, the Marketing Mastery event in Las Vegas, Nevada, a couple weeks ago. I got to meet this couple, a great couple, and people who are very welcoming for other people. I can tell you, watching how people interact with other people, perhaps a new member who just got started, and they found the time to escape from their job for a couple days and come to Las Vegas. A very welcoming couple, and people who I think you're going to get a lot from tonight as they share their experience, not just in terms of how they rose to the top in an affiliate contest, but how they've risen to the top in their personal and in their business lives over the years. When you hear insights from people who have been in the game for a while, they've made some distinctions, right? They've gained some clarity on things that are not so apparent at first when we first get started and we first endeavor into something we've never done before. So they've got the experience, and they've also got some great contrast because they've seen what works and what doesn't work. And that's another thing you get here in the Black Diamond is the voice of experience. Now, of course, I'm talking about Darren and Rhonda Salkeld, Please welcome them to the call. Darren and Rhonda, how are you two tonight?
I'm doing awesome, John. Fired up to be here tonight with you.
Fantastic.
Hi, John.
We've been anticipating you two for a couple of weeks, and it's so exciting to have you here for the first time ever on the Black Diamond call. So I think we're going to have some I don't know, some story time, some insights. We're all ears. I think people are going to be taking notes.
Yeah, I think since it's our first time out on the Black Diamond call, we're going to share a little bit of our background and tell a few stories and stuff like that, and try and inspire everybody on the call to climb higher, to reach higher, to move further up the mountain faster than they could have before the call. And I mean, obviously, we'll be out for many more calls whenever you want us out. We're looking forward to being a big part of this community.
For sure.
Fantastic. Thank you both. So take it away.
All right. So as John said, we're actually calling in from Maui, Hawaii today. It's one of the beautiful Hawaiian islands. We've been here for about a week now. We'll probably stay for, I guess, another week, right, Rhonda?
A couple more days. We've been here for about 6 days now, and then we're going to take a little island hop over to Oahu for a few days, and we've got some friends over there, so we're going to go meet with some friends and check out that island.
Yeah,
but we can tell you it's absolutely beautiful over here.
Yeah, fantastic. Like, we travel a lot, and I have to say, this is the first time we've ever been to Hawaii. It's amazing. We're so excited to actually be coming back in a few short months. This coming February for the Ascend Digital Altitude event. Like, if anybody's never been to Hawaii before, and even those who have been, you'll know that as soon as you step foot off the airplane, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous set of tropical islands, and it's the perfect place to host a digital altitude event.
Right, that's right. So we're really, really excited for the February event here in Hawaii, and a little bit later we are going to talk about the importance of attending events. And we really hope to see absolutely everybody at the event here.
Yeah, I know that Michael likes to do things right. We were at a leadership retreat in Cancun. We were just at the Las Vegas Marketing Mastery event. And by far, from everything in my experience before in the past, like, I've been in this industry a long, long time, Michael absolutely does things right. It's top-notch. It's top scale. So it's guaranteed to be a spectacular event. We highly encourage everybody listening to do everything in your power to get to that event. Book a time with your coach, like John said. Talk to them about getting yourself positioned so you can be in attendance live. Surround yourself with leaders. We'd love to meet each and every one of you. This business and this industry has truly blessed me and Rhonda with the ability to travel the world wherever and whenever we want.
Right. We've actually, we do a lot of traveling. In fact, the last 12, 15 months, we've been fortunate enough to travel about 15 times. We travel so many U.S. cities, Vegas, Chicago, Las Vegas, or Los Angeles, San Diego. There's so many in the U.S., but we've also been to a lot of really fabulous exotic locations too, like Curacao, Bahamas, Dominican Republic. We go to Mexico as often as we possibly can. And, of course, now we can add Hawaii to our list.
Right. Yeah. And you know what the coolest part is? We do all of this while running our business from our laptops, just a few hours a day while traveling. As John said, we just came off of winning the affiliate contest, $150,000 contest, and our business runs while we're traveling the world and to these exotic locations. Really, really cool. And we get to enjoy life. This morning we were actually sitting on the beach and then by the pool here at the Fairmont out in Maui, like beautiful, beautiful resort.
Right, and I don't know if anybody follows us or has noticed on Facebook, but yesterday was actually my birthday, so we spoiled ourselves to a spa day yesterday, and today is Darren's birthday, and that's one of the reasons we're here. We try to do something special for our birthdays since they're a day apart. We do something special every year, and this year was a big one. This is Hawaii. So tomorrow we're actually going on a helicopter tour around the island. That was Darren. I got the spa, and he gets helicopter. So
yeah.
Should be great. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, one thing for certain is we absolutely love our lives, and this really is the ultimate business for those seeking to have complete time, money, and location freedom. It's something that I've always wanted, Rhonda's always wanted, and now we have it. But I can assure you that life wasn't always like this. There was a time in my life when I didn't believe it was possible to be sitting in a luxury suite overlooking the ocean, running a multiple seven-figure business from a laptop. Back then, I just thought it was a dream lifestyle. But I have made my dreams come reality, and everybody else can too. You've got the right business here. Growing up, I lived on a farm. I lived in a mobile home trailer. I drove a beat-up old pickup truck. And I worked in a factory for as long as I can remember. And when I say for as long as I can remember, that's a fact. I mean, it was a family business growing up. So right from a very small age, I see pictures that my family shows me of me standing in this factory when I was literally like 3 years old. So I was born into the factory life, I guess you can say. And anybody that's been in a family-type business, you know that stress levels are a lot higher. The demand for success is a lot higher. You have to be on call, on duty, 24/7, 365. You become really, really stressed out, more than the average, I guess, factory worker, if you want to call it that, because you've got those responsibilities, plus you've got the responsibilities of going above and beyond. But anyways, growing up, like I said, I lived on the farm. Before school, I would do farm chores. After school, I would do farm chores. Weekends, evenings, holidays, every spare chance I could get, I would go into the factory and I would have to help work there. We had, at the height of the factory, there was 220 employees working there. We lived in a town. The town actually only had like 900 people there. So you can imagine the small town mentality there. It was just a quarter of the population of the town was employed at a factory where it was just assembly line type work. After I graduated high school, I went right away full-time to the factory. I remember being told, forget about going out and partying and forget about all that kind of goofy stuff with your friends. Just get to work. Work hard and save up. And when you retire at 50 or 60 years old, you can have it all. So I was born and bred into the work hard and wait plan. I call it work hard and wait until you retire. And I'm sure a lot of people on the line are also working very, very hard for retirement. And that's something that we're all bred into, and we'll talk about that a little bit later there. But when I was working hard at the factory, I can honestly say that I worked 15 to 18 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. I took home $400 to $500 for my paycheck. I think in the height of peak season, I would take home about $800 a week for my paycheck. And I was always told, you're just going to stay poor until you retire because all of this will be yours. But there was never any contingency plan if anything ever went wrong. So I worked hard and I busted my butt, and I went above and beyond. I learned every position in the factory. I excelled at everything. And I just thought that one day I'd be 50 or 60 years old and I would have it all. And I was okay with not having a lot growing up because that's just the way it is when you're in a family business. And so some of the people that I worked with, they would get their paycheck, they would go straight over to the local pub or the local bar across the street on a Friday night, and by Monday morning, they were completely flat broke. I remember that very clearly. Like, people literally they weren't even living paycheck to paycheck. They were living paycheck to like 3 days later. Yeah. I was a little bit smarter. I mean, I invested some money into a mobile home trailer, into my truck, but I accumulated debt. At one point, I was in personal debt over $75,000, and I really didn't know how I was going to get out of the rut I was in. My stress levels were going up, and there was issues happening at the factory. Life wasn't as good as it should be there. We were an export company, and most of our business was overseas. And then one day, the government just signed a piece of paper that removed us from the export list, unknowing to us. And actually, it was a mistake, but that caused the demise of our factory business. So in 1997, we were gearing up for doubling our capacity. We bought out the only other competitor in Canada, doubled their customers, doubled their vendors, doubled their suppliers. We went out and pre-sold everything. We were on top of the world in 1997. 1998 came and we were removed from that list without knowing, but we had doubled all of our capacity. So like I said before, without knowing the contingency plans, I thought life was good just getting the regular paycheck there. So in a heartbeat, that factory went from being on top of the world to being $10 million in debt. We were out of business in one day. And 220 people we went from 220 people down to 20 people in the factory. We had to lay off all the seasonal workers. We kept on some of the locals because we had, or some of the full-time locals because we had other commitments we had to do and stuff. But it was to make a long story short, it was an 8-year battle, a legal battle. We ended up winning, but 8 years later, there was no business, no customers, no suppliers, nothing left. Whatever we got paid, or the factory got paid from the lawsuit, went to lawyers, accountants, back pay of everything, and we were still in debt, a couple $1 million. So right now, to this very day, there sits a 60,000 square foot factory in that little town that's empty. So it's pretty sad when you think of that, but I've always been born into the entrepreneurial spirit, and through that 8-year time of the battle, that's when I learned to do internet marketing, and that's when I tried to look for something else. And I actually stumbled quite a few times, but once I figured out the internet marketing game, I was able to help support the family business to get us through those hard times. And then in 2006, when all of that hard times was over, I just wanted, my father went and retired, my sister went on her own way, and I had my own little internet business going. But the one thing that I always missed in my life was location freedom and time freedom, and obviously money freedom. But location and time freedom was something that I really, really craved, and that's when I started looking for something more, something bigger and better, and I found this industry 10 years ago, and I jumped on an airplane. I went to an event similar to the one that Digital Altitude is going to be holding in Hawaii, and I met some leaders there. I actually met Jason Howell, who's one of the big directors in marketing and stuff at Digital Altitude. I met him, and we've become good friends. He's still one of my best friends to this very day, but my life changed in an instant when I attended that event. And I started surrounding myself with leaders. I started doing what leaders do. I started just living the lifestyle that I knew I was meant for, and life's never the same for us. I mean, now, like Rhonda said, we've traveled 15 times in just the last year. We've got complete time and location freedom. We've got money freedom. We've kind of got everything. So I don't really want to take up too much time telling more of my story. I mean, I could literally tell you guys stories for days on it, but we'll move on here because we've got some really good content for you guys that we're going to share with you. I'm going to let Rhonda just give a little bit of her background story here because it's really, really great. She's got an amazing story, which I know will truly inspire a lot of people on this call. Rhonda comes from a corporate background, being the HR manager for over 400 people. She was the first employee in this particular company over 25 years ago. And I mean, as you can imagine, she's had her fair share of ups and downs, but I'll let her tell you the details, and then we'll get into some great content which will help all of you prosper and grow with this business.
Thanks, Darren. So, as he mentioned, I do come from the corporate world, and I was with the same company in almost the same position, working with the same people for over 25 years. Right out of high school, I had just made a decision that I was going to take a year off before going back to university, and I just wanted to get a job to get some real-life experience, make a little bit of money, and I interviewed with a company. It was a brand new professional engineering company that was just starting up. There was 4 professional engineers that had been working together for about 15 years in an international firm, and they had quit to start their own company, and I was going to be the very first employee they hired. So I was honest with them right from the beginning, and I told them that my plans were that I only wanted to work a year, and then I was going to go back to university. But being a brand new company, the president said, well, why don't we just kind of all give it a year and see where we're at. So it started to grow very quickly. It was very apparent that the company was going to be very successful and just continue to grow. And I was with the company from the ground level up. I was going to be growing with them as they grew. So I stayed on, obviously, and after a couple of years, the president offered to put me through university if I did it on a part-time basis. So he wanted me working, still doing my full-time job and doing my university courses part-time evenings and weekends. And my full-time job was not just a 40-hour-a-week job. It was a 50 or 60-hour work week, and I was doing university on top of that. So in the beginning, it was a number of years. I missed out on family get-togethers, going out with friends. Most importantly, I was starting a young family. I had a young son, and I missed out on many of his beginning growing years because I was working so hard to build a career and get my university education. So that was my pain part. That's why I was always looking for something more. I always knew that there was something better, but of course I was building my career. I had a great Monday to Friday job. You can't just quit a job when you're building your career. So as Darren said, the company grew to over 400 employees with 4 regional offices all across Canada, and I managed them all. I dealt with each and every employee on a personal basis, and I really loved my job. I went on, I actually got invited to become a shareholder in the company, and in the beginning years, I was not only the only female shareholder, but I was the only non-professional engineer shareholder in the company. I really was succeeding. I did very well. I loved my job. I loved what I was doing, but as I said, there were so many sacrifices. I worked and breathed my job. That's all I did. So now you can fast forward a few years. Darren and I have been together for 7 years now. And so 7 years ago, I started attending these similar type of events. It was like the high-end mastermind events, just very similar to the DA. And I always went along as his guest. But I loved the excitement and the positive energy that I got from being there. I'd get home and I could feel the change in the way I dealt with personal and professional relationships. My mind was changing it. I was actually learning the industry and I didn't even realize it. So, I started to see that there were other options out there. There's other possibilities to live a better life. So a couple of years ago, I made the decision to start working online. And I was very fortunate that I was able to slowly build my online business while cutting back on my full-time job. I hired a few assistants, started delegating, and I was slowly able to cut back my full-time job from, down to 4 days a week, then 3 days a week, and slowly phase myself out. And I still actually consult with them now today because I've got over 25 years. Nobody else has that history and knows the employees and what happened over the 25 years. So because of my loyalty and dedication to the employees, or to the company and all the employees, I still go in and do training whenever needed. But for the most part, Darren and I now live the life that we love. We've designed this. We get to travel when we want. We take our computers. We can work from anywhere in the world as long as we have our computers and an internet, right? Mm-hmm. And we actually don't consider it work, though, because we love what we do. We're just having fun. And this industry has really given us the opportunity to do that.
Yes. So yeah, one of the things that I know that was a big hurdle for Rhonda was the mindset, going from that employee mindset to the entrepreneur mindset, right?
Right. It's a huge challenge, and I'm sure everybody faces that challenge because, as we said, we're taught all of our lives from our parents, at school. Everyone tells us that we need to get a full-time job, a Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 job, build your career, earn a paycheck, slowly pay down your mortgage, pay your bills, hopefully be able to put a little savings away for future retirement. And I was doing all of that. So I thought I was succeeding.
Yeah, you know what? the funny thing is, when you really think about it, school actually grooms us for a life of employment. Like, really think about that for a moment. You get up, you get dressed, you go to school from 8 to 4:30, you have two 15-minute breaks, then you have a 30 to 60-minute lunch break. Like, what is that? That's employment, and that's what school is training you for. They're actually teaching you how to be good at a job. Really crazy when you think about that, right? On the other hand, when you tell people that you can be an entrepreneur and work for yourself, you can make your own hours, you can travel the world, you can work 2 to 3 hours a day from exotic locations, and you can make a full-time income doing all of that, they actually think you're crazy, really,
Yes.
right?
And I know that for a fact because after 25 years of building a successful career, when I started telling, especially my family, my friends, and my colleagues, everybody thought I was crazy. Nobody could believe I was just going to up and quit this perfectly good job and go out and build my own company. But one of the things I always said is that was one of the things. I had worked so hard and for so many years, and it was building somebody else's dream and somebody else's bank account. So I just knew it was time for me to start not only building my dream, but our dream together. Darren and I are doing this as a team. We're together.
Right. We're building our own destiny. We're taking our destiny and our dreams, and we're building our own dream lifestyle.
Yeah.
So speaking of mindset still, like I think back when I got started, I actually had to go from, like Rhonda went from employee mindset to entrepreneur mindset. I actually had to go from small town mentality to living abundantly. As you can imagine, growing up around a town of 900 people and working in a factory that employed 200 of those people, so almost a quarter of the population, I had to get out of that small town mentality. What changed for me was attending these live events and surrounding myself with the right people with the right mindset. Being around people that think big, dream big, and live even bigger. That's what really had a major impact on my mindset and my life. I took action, and I actually moved away from that small town, and I moved into a small community of really high-level people. I started traveling around to events very regularly, and I can honestly say that that's exactly what helped me succeed in life, is being around the right people at the right time and in the right mindset.
That's right. It's and these events are really what will change your mind and get your mind into the right place because you want to surround yourself with positive people. Always maintain a positive environment and a positive mind. You want to get the most out of events. Everybody's reason for going to events is going to be different, so figure out what you want to get out of attending the events. But some of the important things you want to make sure you network with the industry leaders. Make sure you approach everyone. They're all real people. They're just like you and me. Go talk to them. Form a relationship with the leaders, and most importantly, form that relationship and get to know them, become their friends.
Right, that's the most important part. Make sure you don't just meet someone and start hounding them for information at these events or asking them for their big secrets to success, because you know what? It takes many years to figure everything out online, and you can't just brain dump something in 5 minutes. Instead, the best way to approach leaders at events and stuff is just talk with them, form a friendship, take some pictures, build your assets, really become a good friend with them, because over time, the Rolodexes and the secrets and everything just start coming out. It's almost like getting drip fed at the right time in the right place for your business, because if you came up to me right now and said, what's your most advanced secret? I could tell you wouldn't be able to implement it right now. You would be overwhelmed. But if I drip fed you the right content at the right time to take you up the path on the mountain, you're going to succeed, because I've been there before. It's really you're following the leaders up the path on the mountain. So get to the events and form friendships. You will learn more just being associated with those leaders, okay? So we call that the power of association, and it works wonders to elevate your business. Attending events is also, I guess, going to give you positive energy.
Right.
Everyone's going to finish the event with such energy, such excitement. They're going to go home buzzing with the success vibes. And I know every time I've been to an event, I've come home and our business has increased, like sometimes 10, 20, 30 times, sometimes 100-fold, just by implementing one or two really great nuggets of information.
That's right, and the most important thing is when you get home is to keep that excitement and the positive energy going. It's natural to get home and just kind of settle back into your regular routine. You get back to your job, you get back to home and regular life. You can't settle back into the routine. You've got to keep that the excitement and the positive energy going, and just take action. I always say that some of these events can become a little bit overwhelming because there's so much content. There's so many great speakers, and you're going to be learning so many things. But you don't have to go home and expect to know everything. You're going to find something that you can really connect with, something that you understand, something that makes sense to you, something that you really resonate with, and go home and take action on that. And once you really successfully get that mastered, then you'll start learning more and more skills and just continue to use more methods.
Right. So, do one or two skill sets at a time. Don't try and become a jack of all trades and master of none. What you want to master is one or two, and then leverage the leaders and the coaches in your business to help you accelerate with the rest of them. Some other tips and reasons for getting to these events is you want to meet with your team members and build a personal relationship. That's huge for your business growth. Prior to each event, we always reach out to our members. We encourage them to attend. Those who have confirmed to attend, to meet us, we'll actually send them an email and let them know that we're going. We look forward to meeting them and spending time with them.
Right. I always send out emails to all of our members that we know have registered for the event, and we send them a picture. We attach a picture of Darren and I just so that they know exactly who they're looking for, and then we ask them to send us back an email and attach a picture of themselves so we can recognize them and we know who we're looking for. And then we always plan something, whether it's a lunch or a dinner, with all of our members that are in attendance, because it's such a great opportunity not only for us to try and help them and offer tips, but also so they can network with each other as well.
Yeah, it's basically like a team forming activity, because when you form a really strong team, just think of it like a branch on a tree. If you got one branch, you can snap it relatively easy, but if you got a bunch of branches in your hand, it's very, very strong. So form that team environment and move forward as a solid, unified unit.
Right. Yeah.
Right now, let's maybe just talk about goals here for a minute or two here, because goals is one of the big, important factors in reaching success. In order to maximize your efforts, you need to set what's called a SMART goal. Now, the word SMART, S-M-A-R-T, stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So when you're setting SMART goals, you want to always make sure that they're very specific in nature. You want to make sure that you have a method to measure them. You want to be able to make sure they're attainable. Don't set something that's going to take you 3 or 4 years to attain, right? Like set 30, 60, 90-day goals. Make sure they're relevant to your business and your ultimate underlying goal in business and life. And make sure it's time-bound, like I say, 30, 60, 90 days, 12 months, a year, 3 years. Like really hone in your goals. That's something that we do very often. We set SMART goals for our business. And
reset. As soon as we start to reach one goal, we reset. And actually, I always use the example of someone who's trying to lose weight. I'm sure we've all been there. I know we have. Everybody's tried to lose weight in their life. So if you step on the scale, don't say, oh my gosh, I have to lose 50 pounds. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to get there. Break it down. try and lose 10 pounds at a time. Maybe start with 10 pounds, and once you get to the 10 pounds, then go for another 10 pounds, and so on and so on. And that will give you, it'll boost your confidence. It will make you feel that, okay, I'm actually succeeding. I'm reaching my goals. It creates excitement, and it allows you to continue on to the next goal.
Right. So speaking of like the weight loss goal there, you would say to yourself, instead of saying, I want to lose some weight, very generic, or I want to lose 50 pounds, still kind of generic, you would say something like, I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 21 days or the next 30 days, and then you would build a plan to get there. I remember one of my mentors many years ago said to me, how much money do you want to make? In the back of my mind, I knew I wanted to make $1 million, but I knew that was not really attainable for me at the time. But I was surrounding myself with people that were making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. So I said to him, I want to make $50,000, and his answer to me was, okay, how long do you want it to take you before you make that? And I said 90 days. So now I had a specific goal, and I had it time-bound, and then he said to me, all right, now let's build the path to get there. So we made it all relevant and measurable, time-bound. We made it everything. So in my third month in that particular business, I did $48,000, and in the next month, I did $72,000 because I had a very, very specific plan to get there. If I didn't have that plan, I would have just been floating along. But that's what you got to do, is utilize your coaches and your leaders and get them to help you make these SMART goals for you so you can hit your goals that are actually attainable.
That's right.
I want to talk, I guess, a little bit about comfort zone, because I know when you start talking about big numbers like that, $50,000 or even positioning and stuff like that, a lot of people get a little bit outside of their comfort zone, and oftentimes it really does take stepping out of your comfort zone to reach a new goal or a new height in both life and business. If you were to take a piece of paper and draw 2 circles on it apart from each other, one of those circles you could label comfort zone, and one of them you would label success zone. In order to get into success, you obviously have to get out of comfort. And that is just the fact of life. In order to hit success, you have to get out of your comfort zone. Now, a lot of people may think that positioning themselves at higher levels in business or attending events and stuff like that, that may seem outside of their comfort zone. But I can tell you that's the wrong way to think. There's something that we like to call the pop effect. It's the effect that the power of positioning has on your business results. And I can tell you that your time, your effort, your energy, and your money spent on growing your business is the exact same whether you're positioned at rise, ascend, peak, or apex. Your efforts, your energy, your time, your money, it's all the same. Nothing's going to change except how much money you make on the back end, how many results you get.
Right.
So it's very important to talk to your coaches and to not be too comfortable. Like, you just got to step outside and you got to go for your goals. Discuss the best way to set yourself up for success. Talk about the options to get positioned at the highest level you can, and always remember that to reach success, you have to step out of your comfort zone sometimes.
Right. Okay, so we're going to tell you a little bit about daily routine. Everybody's going to have a completely different daily routine, and I really think that the amount of effort and the amount of time that you put into anything is going to be, it's going to show or have an effect on what you get back from it. So obviously we treat this as a real business because it is a real business. So we have a very disciplined work schedule. We set an alarm for 6 a.m. every morning, just like most people do on a Monday to Friday regular job. We don't sleep till 9 or 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock and roll out of bed whenever we feel like it, or put 3 or 4 hours of work into our day. We set our alarm, we get up, and we start our day. We always keep ourselves very disciplined and very focused on our goals. And as I said, everybody's going to be different, and it really is what you want to get out of this business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get out what you put into the business.
It's
just
like
that,
anything, of
yeah,
course, yeah.
just that simple. A lot of people always ask us, what do we do on our daily routine, and is there anything that we can share that would help other people incorporate into their routine so maybe they can see some better results a little bit quicker? So I'm just going to list a few things here off the top of my head that you can probably use into your daily routine. Like this is what we do, and this is why we're able to travel the world and sometimes work only 2-3 hours a day from the balcony overlooking the ocean and stuff like that. So basically, when we get up in the morning, unlike most people, we don't open our email, we don't open Facebook, we don't turn on the news, we don't look at gossip sites, we don't start filling our head with the negative and the gossipy stuff of the world. We want to stay focused and maintained, because when you wake up in the morning, that's when your brain is ready to drive forward in your business. So instead of doing that, consider going for a walk or doing some exercise for 30 or 60 minutes. Listen to 30 minutes of motivational or inspirational messages each and every morning. I mean, it doesn't take long. Put your headphones on, go for a 30-minute walk, and instead of listening to some kind of crazy music, put the inspirational and motivational messages on. It's going to get your mind buzzing for success. When you're done that, what we do is we would review our task list of goals for the day. One of the things that I do, and this is, I've been doing this for many, many years, and it's very, very powerful, is every single day before I go to bed, I write out a task list of 6 things that I want to accomplish the very next day. And this is probably the most important takeaway you'll get from this call, is make a task list of 6 things that you want to do the very next day. And no matter what happens, no matter what obstacles come up, if you have to drive your kids to school or sports or work goes overtime, no matter what happens, you want to get those 6 tasks done at the end of the next day. It could take you 30 minutes to do the task, and it could take you 10 hours to do the task, but get them done, because that's how you keep yourself accountable. You are, after all, your own boss here. There's nobody telling you, hey, come clock in here, punch the time clock, and do these task lists. You have to make the task list for yourself. And then when you get up in the morning, you go for your walk, you listen to your inspirational music, get your mind buzzing, you read your task list, and you say, all right, now I'm going to start my day. I'm going to do these things. No matter what, I'm scheduling it in.
And stay accountable to make sure that they get done by the end of the day.
Right. Otherwise, you're going to fire yourself.
Yeah.
So another thing that we do is we communicate with our team, our partners, our outsourcers, everybody that's kind of in our circle of our team. We've actually, because we run our business at a pretty high scale, we've got quite the team. So we're always in communication with our team, and I suggest you do too. Your team right now, when you're getting started, could be your upline. It could be the person that enrolled you into Digital Altitude. Just communicate with them. Just say, you know what, here's my task list for the day. I just would like you to help me stay accountable. I'm going to do this and this and this today, and I can assure you that they'll gladly help keep you accountable. Make sure you hit your goals and your targets for the last 24 hours. That's important. You want to always be reviewing and analyzing what you were doing the previous day. So make sure you hit your goals and targets. If you didn't hit your targets and you have some shortfalls, you want to make the necessary adjustments or corrections, okay? So because you always want to surpass the goals that you set for the day. If you break even on the goals, great, but you want to be better than great, okay? So always try and figure out what went wrong, what made you have a shortfall, what corrective action can you take. Could you imagine if you were in a rocket ship and you were pointed towards the moon or a star even farther away, and you went off course just a little bit and you did not take corrective action, you could be millions of miles out by the time you got to your destination. So just small little corrective actions multiple times a day or multiple times a week will save you a lot of pain down the road. Another thing that we always do, because we're always monitoring, we run our business probably 95% on paid advertising. There's a lot of people that run their advertising free methods. We're very, very consistent with growth because we're using multiple paid advertising channels. So we're always monitoring our advertising spend. our advertising results, our conversions. So what you want to do is you want to monitor any underperforming ads. Anything that's not performing the way that you want it to, turn it off. But on the same token, turn up your winning ads. If you've got an ad that's converting like crazy, don't be afraid to turn that thing up.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple last little things here. You want to also always research new places to advertise. I take a notebook with me everywhere I go, so does Rhonda. We've also got our phones, which have the audio recording on it. We've got the notepad on the phone.
We're constantly making notes to remind ourselves to do things, or if we come up with ideas, suggestions,
Right.
we write them down.
Yeah, like if you're driving along and you hear something on the radio, or you see a billboard, or you're looking at a magazine and you see something that would trigger you to take a specific action and move forward with something, write that down. It never hurts to test it. Like, we're always making notes. Like, one of my biggest assets is my notepad.
Yes, notepads. You've got
Notepads.
multiple, many.
And I also like to just say you should make it a daily routine to commit to placing at least one new ad every single day. Just think, if you had one new ad every business day of the week for a whole month, by the end of that month you would have 20 ads placed. Pretty good, right? And then you turn off the underperforming ads, you turn up the winners, so you're always going to be floating around 20 to 30 ads out there, and then when you get really good at it, you do more. So many people will think all the time, well, I placed one advertisement and I'm not getting results. Well, you know what? If you want to have different results, you got to do something different. Place more ads.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah.
So always stay positive and put out value-driven content.
Right. So that was quite a list of, that's Darren's daily routine. Now, everybody's is going to be different, and everybody's is going to be different for the amount of time it takes per day, depending on what your goals are or what your list contains for the day. But you should try to keep it to a minimum, maybe a few hours a day to complete, and continue as you get more focused and more confident in your business. Just keep expanding on it and keep growing, and you will see your business grow.
Yeah, so, I mean, this truly is how we live our lives, traveling the world, managing our business, and really generating a multiple six figures per month.
Right. So the most important thing, always take action. Any business, anything that you do in life takes effort, and so does this. Just make sure you take action every single day. Do something. One of our favorite sayings is, do something different today because tomorrow never comes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's really all the time we have for today. So let's get John back out here and wrap.
Hey, John's out here. Darren and Rhonda, that was spectacular. You covered so many points, and you know what? None of them seemed like some abnormal or Herculean effort. It sounds like you're just very systematic, very consistent, and doing what you know works, and doing it to an extent that that reveals a very, very high result. Right? Am I hearing your message right?
You're hearing it right, spot on. Like, consistency is the key, and taking action is the other key. I mean,
Right.
if you turn both of those keys, I mean, your business is moving.
Right. Right.
And as I also said, don't get overwhelmed. There is so much to know and to learn in this industry. When I got started just over 2 years ago, I know I was getting frustrated, and Darren kept saying to me, I've been online for 16 years now. Nobody is going to learn what I know overnight, and certainly you're not either. So, I took a few things that I knew I could do, or I could figure out easily, or things that we had been doing all of our lives, and I started with that, and then I just continued to build on it. And I still today, after 2 years, there's so many things that I don't know, and we just outsource them, or somebody else does them. Darren, of course, knows a lot, pretty much everything that can be done online, but even he isn't able to do everything because we are running our business at such a high-scaled level. There's so many things that we do have to outsource.
Yeah, you got to surround yourself by experts, with experts, and it's one of the keys of going to these events. One of the things that we always do when we go to the events is I always try and find out who's the list of speakers, who's going to be get in the attendance as high-level guests, and I'll pick 2 or 3 or 4 people, and I'll say those are the people over the course of the next 4 days that I want to become friends with, and I want to add them to my circle of influence. I'll take them for dinner, and I'll just become their friend, and that small little thing has returned us several hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last several months and millions over the years, just because you're becoming friends with the right circle of influence. And they say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're the smartest person in the room, you got to get out of that room and find a different room.
Go to a different room.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Well, I think sometimes people, when they get started in a business like this, they expect that there's got to be something really remarkable about, a top earner and a couple like yourself, that you've got to do some heroic deed of greatness, or you've got like some secret, like this is a magical thing or something. And just also in watching the chat roll, because we've got a live chat going on here, as you guys were talking, I noticed we have a lot of new members who are, they want to get to the dollars quickly, and so there is no shortcut, I have found, in the time that I've been in business, years and years, like you two, and having made millions, I noticed that that when people are committed to the goals, which is one of the topics or subtopics that you covered, they find their own momentum in just doing the things consistently that produce small results, and that starts to accrue into, of course, big results. So I suppose we can have a few minutes for Q&A if you guys would like. I have a question, though.
Sure.
What is your best month in business so far in terms of earnings?
My best month in this industry is over $500,000 in commissions. In fact, Digital Altitude, we only got started with about 4 months ago. Our best single week in Digital Altitude has been about $109,000 in commissions.
Fantastic.
And remember that's commissions. That's commissions made, and it's not team commissions. That is an individual.
Right. That's actual commissions paid out. And you know what it comes down to is, like we say, it's consistency and placing new ads all the time. Once you've got the pipeline full, the system's going to continue to work. And the way it works when business plans happen on the back end, people are they're going to love the business because it's a great business, and they're going to step up, and you're going to start making commissions. Sometimes, if your pipeline is really full and you've got 20, 30, 40 ads over time, it might take you 3 months to get to that level where you got those many ads out there. But you could have a huge day. You could have one single day that's going to be $20,000 or $30,000. Now, divided by the whole week, that's $30,000 in a week. But just think about that for a minute. Consistency for the next 3-4 months is when you're going to start seeing these big things. It doesn't happen overnight. And I often tell people too, like, look, what are you making at work right now at your job? If you make, say, $20 an hour, and you put in 40 hours in the week, you're making about $800, but you're busting your butt for 40 hours in that week. Just think if you busted your butt for 40 hours a week in this business. Take both days on the weekend, 10 hours and 10 hours, and then a few hours every single night, and just try and equate that. Put 40 hours in for a month and see what your returns are. That's when you're going to see the big returns. But obviously you don't have to put 40 hours in. I'm just kind of using that as an analogy, but you get out what you put in.
Right. That makes great sense. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the lines. And we're going to take just a few questions. We're already at 54 minutes past the hour, so stand by, everybody. Here we go. All right, so we've got Darren and Rhonda on the line right now. They have earned over $500,000 in a month. If you've got a question for Darren and Rhonda, now is your opportunity. You can hit *6 on your phone if you're dialing in with a phone, and if you're on your console, you're using the app thing, then you know what to do as well. It's a button or something. So we're going to go to our first caller, which looks like is Paul. Paul, you're live on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Paul just muted himself.
Hello.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
Hey. Hey, I just wanted to say hello, Rhonda and Darren, and thank you for sponsoring me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
You're welcome. Congratulations thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. The question I have is on the trafficking on Digital Edge. Do you know about the gentleman that's offering that?
The trafficking, I think you should put a support ticket into that, because I can expedite your support ticket, but I would need to know more specifics about it.
Okay, because it's with Digital Edge, not Altitude, though. It's on that training, those training pages.
Yeah, so I think just get with your coach, talk to your coach about it, and ask them how you can put a support ticket in, or just ask them specifically about that for here, because there's such a wide range of different teams and stuff on this call. I think we should keep it confined to a general audience question.
I hear you. Will do, buddy.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. We'll go to our next caller, which is Natavius Davis. Natavius, you're live on the air.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Well, this is my first time being on the call, so I definitely appreciate you guys' your story and your input. I'm over here taking a lot of notes, and I can only write as fast as you can keep up. So, can I get those SMART goals again? The acronym for SMART one more time.
Sure. SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And just to let you know, we didn't come up with that. You can just Google SMART goals, and you'll see.
Commonly
it's very common. Yeah, it's one of the things that a lot of leaders focus on is SMART goals. So yeah, just Google SMART goals.
Okay. Yeah, I'm new. I actually just started last week, so I'm trying to take as many notes as I can, stay humble, stay positive. So I definitely appreciate you guys, your input and all the good information that you still out tonight. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And you know what? Make sure you do get on these calls every week, because there is some really good content that, from all of the speakers that will be joining every week.
Right, and tomorrow also listen to the recorded version. Like, let your mind absorb all of this tonight. Then tomorrow listen to it again. It's like watching a movie or a TV show multiple times. You're going to pick up more things the more you hear things, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you, Natavius. Thank you for being here, and welcome. Welcome to Digital Altitude. Brand new member, ladies and gentlemen. Natavius.
Great.
Fantastic. Let's go to our next caller, which is Roxy Palau. Roxy, you're live on the line.
Hi, aloha everyone.
Hey.
It was awesome to see you folks, by the way, in Vegas. That was so great. Thanks for all that knowledge you folks gave out there. And congratulations, Rhonda and Darren, for being number 1.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice meeting you too.
My question is I have my list, and it's like a long list that it seems like nobody really answered for it or was interested. Is it smart or is it foolish to try and get back to those people again and see if they might take a bite on the next round?
If it's an email list you're talking about, I would start putting out some valuable content to them. Don't just send them a link to tell them to keep joining. Like, send them some valuable content and resources and stuff like that. Get them trained to open your emails because they want to open your emails, and then you can even send them a survey and just say, how can I help you? And then just say, look, I'm putting this type of training together. Please tell me what you'd like, and I'm going to give it to you for free. That's going to try and re-engage your list. Once they're re-engaged, then you can just tell them, look, I've set up an appointment with my personal assistant. If you'd be interested, go over here and watch this video. So you want to just kind of engage your list with value.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Roxy. And our next call is Jamie Brummer. Jamie, you're live on the air.
Hey, Jamie.
Jamie, are you there? One more try for Jamie. Are you there? Okay, we'll go to our next caller, which is Edward Benjamin. Edward, you're live on the air.
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic.
I would just like to say that I'm new to this here, just joining over the weekend, but I just sitting here listening. There's a lot of fascinating information that I've heard tonight, and I know I'm going to need my coach, Nick, to still coach me on the way, because I'm still, trying to get into it, but I definitely want to make some success with this here, and to work hard and try to make it to the top.
Right
That's
on.
exactly what you want to do is, keep with your coach, listen to what he is suggesting or recommending you to do, and just keep putting in the effort.
Yeah, sounds like you're on the right path and you got the right mindset, so you're going to do great.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate it. I'm gonna work hard at it, because it's just something that opened my eyes up, and just like a blessing that I've connected with the young man that assisted me with this here, and just like a dream. I never heard of this here, but I'm willing to find out about it. Not
Awesome.
stopping until I get there.
Well, you're going to do great, and we look forward to meeting you in person at the next event.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank you, Edward. And we'll go to our next caller, which I may get this name wrong. It's Munga Rupali.
Hi, yes, this is Rupali. Can you hear me?
Rupali.
Hi. Darren and Rhonda, I just wanted to say that your story is very inspirational, so really appreciate you sharing that. And I'm fairly new. I'm in the process of putting my business plan together, and I just wanted to know from your experience, what are the top 2 channels that you found are most effective in driving traffic?
We use such a multitude of different advertising for our traffic, but email, if you find the right email providers, like I don't often endorse solo ads and stuff like that, because most people don't really know how to use them effectively, but if you find the right provider with the right list, it's highly, highly effective. And also pay-per-click, pay-per-action, Facebook ads, Bing, those are probably our biggest traffic sources comes from like Facebook advertising, Bing advertising, Yahoo advertising. Google's a little harder to break into, but Bing is really newbie friendly, and Yahoo obviously is a good traffic source, and Facebook.
I think for somebody new, probably everybody knows Facebook and everybody knows how to use Facebook, and it is one of the most effective that we use. And I think instead of trying to, we do use so many different methods, as Darren had mentioned, but that's with a lot of testing and tweaking. I would really recommend trying Facebook just to get started. And again, once you sort of master that and once you feel comfortable, then you can try some of the other methods.
Yeah, and since you're asking that kind of a question, I'll give you all on the phone another tip. When you're using a different advertising channel, for example, Facebook, or if you're using Bing, or if you use postcards, or if you use banner sites or whatever, one real specific tip that you need to know is create your landing page so it is very congruent with where the traffic is coming from. If it's coming from Facebook, know what your audience on Facebook likes to see and likes to hear. Facebook is more of a social engagement site. They like imagery and videos and stuff like that. So when you send them to your page, make sure it's congruent with that. If you take people off of, say, for example, if you do some direct mail and do a postcard, the landing page can be a little more aggressive with a postcard, but you know that somebody that comes to that landing page very specifically has walked to their mailbox, they've gone home with this postcard, they've looked at it, they've read your message, they've decided to take action, so they've gone to their computer, and now they're typing in your URL. That's a lot of actions to take before they get to your website. So when they hit your website, you can be a little more aggressive, but what we do when we do postcard advertising, for example, we'll do a video, and I'll actually hold up a few of our postcards, and I'll say on the video, hey, you came to this page not by luck, chance, or fluke, but you came here very specifically by design. You see, you got one of these postcards. I don't know which one it was. Might have been this one, or this one, or this one, but you came here because you want what I have to share with you. And see, I'm talking to that person because they got that message. if I was doing a Facebook ad, it would be a completely different message. So I hope that kind of makes sense to you to make your landing pages congruent.
Right. And another thing I want to add is Facebook, because it is a social networking device, they're very, very picky about some of the wording that you use. So if you are going to be doing advertising on Facebook, make sure you just do some research before you just start, throwing ads up. They don't like, there's certain things that they don't like. And, there's a lot of free Facebook advertising products that are out there, or training that is out there. So make sure you check that out before you go ahead and start, because Facebook will shut you down or put you in what they call Facebook jail for 7 days or something. So it is very highly effective way of doing ads, but just be very careful too when you're starting with your ads.
Right. The most important thing when advertising on any platform is to read their terms of service, what they allow and what they don't allow. Build your landing pages specifically according to the terms of service, and don't do anything underhanded, because you can get a ton of traffic and a ton of volume when you do everything correct.
Right.
Got it. Okay, that was very helpful. And just a quick follow-up, postcard advertising, that's a special form of advertising?
It's called direct mail advertising. You can probably direct mail. Maybe we'll come out one day and do a training on direct mail, because we've been very effective with that, along with other things.
That was one of the first things that I did when I got started 2 years ago, because, as I said, I wanted to do something that I knew I could do, and as a brand new member, I wanted to learn, from the ground level up. So we put together just sort of a newsletter. We sent it out to about 850 different or 900 addresses, and it was very successful. So that's something that we do quite often, and we're actually putting together some training on direct mail.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the help.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And Darren and Rhonda, perhaps we can have you on one of our Rise calls, which happen on Wednesday nights, where we get into more of a nuts and bolts webinar style training. So I'd love to see your angle on not only Facebook advertising, but also the the search engine advertising, like with Bing and Yahoo. Do you guys know that I met Shannon on Yahoo? Did you guys know that?
We actually heard the call where Shannon was out, I guess a couple of weeks before the Las Vegas event. She told the story.
That was an awesome call you guys did together.
Yeah, she's fun. So
she did explain on there that she put out an ad. Was it in 1997 or something?
You got it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember we listened to that, and that's great. Yeah, so that's how effective advertising can be, right?
Right.
It converted 100%. That's right.
So we've got two more callers in queue, and then we're going to wrap up. So our next caller is Daniel Wiggins. Daniel, you're live on the air.
Hi, Daniel.
Well, it's not actually Daniel. That's my fiance's name. We have the same phone company.
Oh, okay. Who's this?
My name is Omar, and I'm new to the business. I just recently started last week. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a restaurant manager, and I work about the same amount of hours that you work in your business, Rhonda, about 50 to 60 hours a week. So it's really hard for me to delegate my time to try to put, bits of time into this business. But I've been trying to have at least 30 minutes a day, looking at videos and taking notes and trying to, gear myself to, start this business, because for me, I've always had an entrepreneur mindset, and I wanted to, I just felt like there was something better out there for me instead of just working that grueling 50 to 60 hours a week and not getting anything out of it and barely, making by and paying bills. So, I said there's just something out there that's got to be better than this. It's less time consuming, and I can, experience life to the fullest and enjoy myself at the same time. And then at the same time doing that, make good amount of money. and just enjoy life. But my question for you guys is, like I said, I am just now starting. So what would be, like, if you had one sole, like, advice to give to somebody that's just like is a newbie that's just starting within the first week, what would that advice be?
Give up all of the distractions during the week and recover as much time as you can, and just take action on placing ads every single day, and monitor the results. It's fine to watch videos and to take notes and stuff, but taking notes isn't going to give you the results. You have to take action on those notes. So if you spend 30 minutes watching a video and taking notes, find an extra 30 minutes to implement it. And it's really that simple. Like, you can build this business in an hour a day and then recover a few extra hours on the weekend as well. When Rhonda started there, she was working 50, 60 hours a week, and we made a transition period. Like, it was part of the goals, part of the SMART goals. She knew that she couldn't just up and quit her job right away, even though she sees the results I've been getting for many years before that. So we said,
right,
let's make a path to your exit plan. So her exit from that company took 2 years. She said, I'm going to just go down from 50 to 60 hours a week to 40 hours a week. Then I'm going to go down to 4 days. Then I'm going to go down to 3 days and stuff like that. So we made a very specific plan. We could have retired Rhonda after 6 months, but she made a plan and a commitment to her company and said, look, I'm going to help you. I'm very loyal, and that's the way we did it.
Right. And we actually worked in the beginning, both Saturdays and Sundays. We were 10, 12, sometimes more hours on both Saturdays and Sundays. Just me learning the business and really trying to scale my business and my income so that I could make that transition of phasing out of my job. But we're actually very fortunate because we both do this and we both love what we do, that when I suggested to Darren, hey, how about Saturdays and Sundays, just for about a year. We didn't do it every weekend, but we made a point of, not going out with friends. We, didn't go to movies. We really focused on growing my business. And, of course, he was right on board because he's been doing this 16 years and he loves what he does. Yeah. He would do it 24 hours a day if I didn't pull him away from his computer and make him go to bed at some point.
Right. You got to. I actually saw a quote online recently, and I forget how it goes exactly, but it's something to do with if you do the actions and the tasks right now that nobody else wants to do, then you can live the life that nobody else can later on.
Right. I think I've heard something like that before. Yeah.
So just continue putting the effort, the time and the effort into it, and take action, as we said, and you will do well.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate that little bit of nugget information. I'm going to take that and run with it.
Perfect.
Awesome. Sounds like you're going to be a winner.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Omar. And our final caller for the night is Daniela. Daniela, you're live on the air.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question about positioning yourself. Like, I just started this summer, and I'm at Rise now. Did you, go into Apex really soon, or how did you, I don't know.
Yeah, we always go in as high a level as we can right off the bat because we know the power of positioning and the power of leverage. Like, if we're going to bust our butt and start putting multiple ads out and leveraging ourselves and putting all the time and energy in, we want to return those efforts multiple times. So if you can't afford Apex at the moment, you should highly consider Ascend or Peak because you're going to get a much better return on your investment of time and energy and money into your advertising. So definitely, to answer your question, yeah, we went to Apex right away on day one, like we had to. We knew that we could make it back in the leverage.
Right. But it is understandable that not everybody can do that right away. And it's it's no different than running any other business. If you were opening a store, you can't spend all of your money on getting the store set up because you're still going to have money to buy product to stock your store, right? So, so you want to make sure that you don't put all of your money into the positioning right away. You have to have some funds available to be able to do advertising and, you know, to invest in your company now.
Yeah, you want to be able to advertise and get to the events and stuff like that because it will continue to snowball. So, yeah, do whatever you can to get to ascend or peak for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And with that, we are done with Q&A. Darren and Rhonda, thank you for a very good call where we got to hear a lot of your strategies, which once again I think are quite duplicable. Right? This is very doable for even the newest member. It's just a matter of building that momentum and making the decision and getting started. So, any closing comments from either of you before we wrap up our call tonight?
First of all, John, we really want to thank you so much. We're really excited to be on this call today. It was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. And I know that we speak on behalf of everybody. Everybody, thanks you so much for doing these awesome calls. You're bringing so much to all of the members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to be live again tomorrow morning with Tatiana. Darren, any closing comments from you?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody, also thank you for taking the time out of their schedules to get on the call with us. Really appreciate that. I know everybody's time is valuable, so we enjoyed being out here. We enjoy sharing our time and contributing to the community, and look forward to getting on some more calls with you. And if maybe we can get on some of the other calls and actually get more deeper into specific trainings and really help people excel.
For sure.
Absolutely. Well, we'll look forward to that. Of course, this week, Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen, on the rise, we're going to have Jason Stone revealing his Instagram tactics. And of course, join us tomorrow morning with Tatiana on the wake-up call, where I will be there with her live. Again, thanks, everyone, for joining us. If you're on the Facebook group, give Darren and Rhonda some love. Let everybody know how great the Black Diamond call was with Darren and Rhonda tonight. We'll see everybody again next week as well. Make it a great day. Bye for now.
Thanks, John. Bye.
Thanks.